All right.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today on this detox workshop that I want to do. And I want to introduce you to a doTERRA program called the 90-Day Reset and how it could potentially change your life. And I know that for my own personal health, detoxing was a major part of me resetting my own health. And so I want to share, and this topic is pretty extensive. So I'm going to be kind of giving information in a fire hose style. And even with that much information being presented, I'm still not even going to be covering the whole subject, which is why at the end, Connie and I are going to be sharing an opportunity where you can join us and kind of walk with us step by step in a really awesome way. And I'll share that later. So, what are three simple reasons why your body needs to detox? The first one is likely that you are struggling with something in your health. And this could be anything from, not being able to sleep at night. Maybe you're struggling with gut issues. Maybe you also have been diagnosed with some health issues, and maybe they're even undiagnosed, but you just are dealing with a ton of symptoms. Another thing that you might be experiencing is, a lack of focus and concentration, that mental fog that just never seems to lift. And no matter what you're doing or whatever you're trying, you just can't push through that. And the third area, which really impacted me as well, is you lack energy and vitality to accomplish what you want in your day-to-day life. So today, what do I want to cover? I want to cover these three things. Number one, how to have a wellness mindset. And what does a wellness mindset mean? Number two, how to meet your body's needs and to also recognize what your body's needs are. And number three, how to establish a wellness routine and a foundation in your life. And I'm going to show you how you can get started with the 90-day reset. And I just want to preface this by saying, after I share today, you might be like, I totally am in, but I'm not quite ready for that whole 90-day reset. Well, don't feel like if you can't, do it the whole way that I suggest, that you don't start at all. My suggestion to you is that you're on this call today because you met one or all three of those criteria on the previous slide. And if that is true, then I encourage you to start somewhere, even if it's just with one piece of information that I share today. And you can, maybe you've already implemented some of the things I share. Well, then start where this message meets you most. And so we're going to share a lot of information today, and make notes and take note of where you are in this whole picture that I'm going to be sharing about this detox process. So a toxin is any substance that places undue stress on our body. It's kind of like a garden in which we call a weed anything that is where it does not belong, right? And our body has an innate and an incredible ability to remove toxins, things that don't belong in our body. But what happens is when that toxic load is so large, and it's more than what our bodies can detox, it's more than what our bodies can get rid of. And so, what toxic load describes is the sum of all of those toxins that are accumulated within your body and the burden that they place on your vital organs. And one thing I want to mention about toxic load, Connie, you can stay on this slide, that's fine, is you can go on the next slide, that's fine. One thing I want to mention about toxic load is, we all know that there's products out there, and, they might say, well, it's within the allowable limit of what is, deemed healthy. But what they're not telling us is, maybe that percentage of exposure is okay within one exposure within, let's say, a month. But what happens when you start using those products daily? Sometimes you're using them multiple times a day. Imagine what the toxic load is actually doing in your body. And when your body is not able to remove them, then it gets stored in your tissues and often shows up as illness, sickness, and inflammation. And on this slide, you're going to see many different things that you might be experiencing in your health. And if you are experiencing any of these, then they could be a sign that you could probably benefit from a detoxification protocol. Now, you can use doTERRA's protocols. You can maybe use your own protocols. You can use ones that you've learned along the way. It doesn't matter to me how you do it, but I recommend that you take this very seriously. And before we move on, I want to just tell you a little bit about my story. I, in my 30s, had a complete burnout. And it was after that that my health started to take a real decline to the point where I was in so much chronic pain, I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. And one of the biggest things that helped me return my health around was learning about toxins. It was learning about how to detox my body and how to decrease the amount of toxins that I put in my body. And so I hope that by the end of this presentation, you kind of get a better awareness of, number one, what is a toxin? Where are these toxins coming from? How are they impacting our body? And what can we do about it? So at doTERRA, we have what we call a wellness pyramid. And at the foundation of this pyramid, you will see that we talk about nutrition and digestion. Nutrition and digestion is absolutely the foundation to all health. And the more I research and the more that I get into this topic, I am realizing, and I'm hearing it from many, 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 many sources that are really focusing on natural health practices, that what happens in the gut impacts all areas of wellness. And so this is why with doTERRA, we focus our foundation on our nutrition and digestion. From there, we go and we deal with movement and metabolism, and then rest and managing stress, reducing toxicity, and informed self-care. And all of these things combined, helps us to step into being proactive when it comes to our medical care. We are not dependent on, the medical system and getting resources from the doctors and those things, because we've already taken our health in our own hands. We've been premeditate. We've like taken some measures ahead of time to, solve some of these things. And, we end up living a life of wellness. You'll see on the next slide, doTERRA has many different products available for each level of these health concerns. And I'm not going to go into all of them today because that would be completely overwhelming, but I just want to make note that there is so much available. If you are serious about removing toxicity in your home, in the products that you use, in different areas of your life, well, there are options. And the more you use doTERRA's products and the more you see that they are so effective, that they make a difference, you will want to start doing the ditch and switch. And that's what I did. Like, I couldn't change everything overnight, but what I did was I started changing one thing at a time. And that might be where you're at. Maybe you're just going to do one small movement forward at a time. And if that's where you're at, we're good with that as well. I love the saying, and it truly is what's happening. Your health truly manifests itself from the inside out. And, for years I've been subject to, the medical industry and their thought pattern and how they think. And they're always doing it from the outside in, right? They're always looking at your symptoms and trying to solve your problem that way. And that is not an effective way of looking at wellness, because it's just dealing with symptoms and not the actual root causes. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is, how do you have a wellness mindset? When it comes to wellness, there's basically two approaches to your health needs. The first picture you'll see on the top of the triangle, symptoms is the large part of that triangle. And the smaller part is the root causes. And this is representing the modern approach or the modern intervention when it comes to health. It's often based in unnatural and manufactured medicines. They only address symptoms. And even though they're giving you medication to solve one problem, your needs often remain or it causes other problems. When we are talking about a wellness mindset, we're talking about the picture on your right. I believe it would be your right. And what you see is the triangle is the opposite direction. And at the bottom, at the foundation, we have root cause. And at the top, we have symptoms. And what this picture signifies is what we at doTERRA like to do. We like to address the root causes of why you're having these symptoms in your body. We want to meet your body's needs, and we want to do it through nature, because God has given us everything that we need in natural products. So why don't we go back to that, go back to the basics, and find what we need and find lasting results when it comes to our health. Health and well-being come essentially from two things. When you get enough of the right things and you avoid too much of the wrong things. Now, when we talk about the good things, we're talking about whole foods. We're talking about perhaps organic food or foods that are not grown with like pesticides and chemicals or genetically modified. We're also talking about good supplementation. And even when you're talking about supplementation, you have to be aware that not all supplements are the same. You can buy something off of a grocery shelf, but a lot of the time they are adulterated. They have fillers in them. They are not the real thing. They've been made in a lab. And so doTERRA prides itself on having pure products that will be safe and effective for your body. When we talk about getting rid of the bad, we're talking about, those quick processed foods, even those pre-packaged foods, things that have no nutritional value, the toxins in your home, the chemicals that you clean with, the products that you put on your skin. We're talking about all of those things that increase the toxic load on your body. And these two things are so important when it comes to, starting to make changes in your health and becoming more aware about toxicity. Now, when we talk about this, there's really only two things that ever go wrong. The first thing, excuse me, is toxicity. We're overwhelmed with so much toxicity in our world. And some of the examples of toxicity comes from artificial foods, additives, our attitude and our beliefs. It can come from other things like, our emotions and our diet and in our environment, even the air that we breathe, different in our food. We can have bad fats, sugar. So many things impact our lives. And so you can see under the toxicity, those things we could consider wrong things. And you might say, well, how's water wrong? Well, a lot of times the water that we're drinking is filled with chemicals, right? So even thinking about when you're drinking water, are we drinking filtered water? Are we drinking water that has been contaminated? Like those things matter. And then the other bad thing that can go when we're talking about this topic is deficiency, when we have too little of the right things. So these are all the things that our body needs. We need amino acids and antioxidants. We need light. We need fiber. We need fruits. We need, pure foods. We need connection with others, so many different things. And you can read through that list. When we don't have enough of those things, it impacts our body and our health in so many different ways. So, what are some of the different ways we are exposed to toxicity? First of all, I want to talk about that there's really three pathways of exposure that's in our what we breathe in. So many of us for years have had, those plugins that you put in the wall, or, scented candles, or, really fragrant perfumes, or even, in our laundry detergents, those ones that have so many fragrances and dyes. Well, we're breathing that in as we're wearing those clothes or as we spray that perfume on us. And a lot of the times, if you're not going with the natural stores, those are actually quite toxic for us. And you're putting an exposure on your body through what you're breathing in. Another way is through what you eat and you drink, what we put inside of our body. And so we have to be aware of those things as well. And then the last way is through our skin contact. And, you may already know this, but your skin is actually the largest organ that you have. And everything that you put on your skin gets absorbed into your bloodstream. And so if you're putting on lotions, shampoos, those body wash things that are toxic, that have things in them that parabens or different things that are causing your body to react or are toxic to us, those are all playing a role. And the cool thing about this that I want to mention is when we talk about how you can use doTERRA's essential oils, there's three pathways. There's the aromatic, which you breathe in. There is the internal, which you take inside of yourself, and there's the ones you put on topically on your skin. So you can see the correlation between, you know, we can take these things in and affect us in a toxic way, or we can also use those same pathways to improve our health and decrease the toxicity. So you've probably been reading this slide already. Some of the problems when it comes to toxicity, air pollution, food toxicity, plastics. Plastics is a massive one. Or like I said, water pollution. And, then there's causes. What do they cause? A lot of these things actually cause hormonal disruptions. And maybe you don't even know about this, but food coloring has also been linked with high levels of ADD and ADHD. Many children who have those diagnoses, when they come off of the artificial colors, all of those symptoms completely go away. So when you realize all of these different things that are impacting our body in a negative way, awareness is the first step in making positive change, right? Because you maybe didn't know that um, green number three, or, those yellow dyes or the blue dyes or whatever, had these impacts on our children's brains, on their mood, on, everything. Also, like the amounts of sugars in everything, right? When we talk about having too much of the wrong thing, sugar is one of those things, right? It's um, processed. It's not natural for our body, and it causes extreme changes in blood sugar levels, and also promotes overgrowth of bad bacteria in our gut. These are all things that we need to know. And as you can see, there's many consequences that come from the toxicity that we take in every day. The other area that we find impacted is we have deficiencies, nutritional deficiencies. And these are two statistics. 9 out of 10 most impactful risk factors are tied to poor nutrition. And also 70% of routine health problems stem from our diet. That's why doTERRA has recognized that the foundation to wellness is really when it comes to our nutrition and digestion. We have to be paying more attention to what we're putting in our bodies and what we're feeding our bodies, because when we are lacking the vitamins, the nutrients, and the minerals, then every part of our health is impacted. On the next slide, we read that there are nutrient deficiencies. Now, these are the percentages of nutrient deficiencies in the estimated amounts that people should be taking, and these are done through studies of 19-year-olds and older. 95% of people are deficient in vitamin D. 84% of people are deficient in vitamin E. And you can see it as the chart goes down. These are astronomical. This is partly because in our modern diet, our foods are depleted so far that we're not getting what we need from what we eat. And so that's why we need to be having another like a supplementation that is healthy and will meet these needs for us. So step number 2, how do we meet our body's needs? doTERRA calls it the ABCs of wellness. And as you can see in the chart there, the A stands for activate, B stands for build, and C stands for cleanse. And when we talk about activating, we're talking about the gut. We're talking about getting it moving. We're talking about removing the bad or decreasing the bad bacteria, increasing the good, getting those toxins flushed out through, proper elimination. We should be having regular bowel movements every single day. We should be able to, eat a meal without having that discomfort in our stomach or having bloating and gas and all of those other discomforts that come. The second part is building. That's fueling our body, adding the good nutrients, rebuilding what was missing before. And C, cleansing, which is removing all of the junk, getting rid of it, and supporting and improving our waste removal system in our body and supporting them in a way that they can naturally and effectively do their regular detoxing every day. And the last part of this, you'll see it says targeted solutions. So in all of us, we're going to have a different health story. We're going to have different needs, and we're going to have different things that we really need to target. So this is also another opportunity where you can pair different products with the ones in the activate, build, and cleanse phase to really support you in moving forward in your different health needs. So, when you think about the activate, build, and cleanse and the targeted solutions, let's refer it to like a car. So if you have a car, the activate stage would be, having a key or an alternator, battery or spark plugs. It's what gets your car moving. In the build stage, it would be the fuel. It's what gets you going. If you have a car and it has no fuel, you're not going to go anywhere. And the cleanse stage in regards to a car would be the regular upkeep, oil changes, changing out the tires, changing out your filters, or just routine care. And then what we mean by targeted solutions, when thinking of it in regards to a car, those would be like the major repairs. When you have to do like a transmission replacement or replacing head gaskets on your engine. And then when we look at it from the perspective of, well, what does this mean when we're talking about your body? So when we talk about activation, we're talking about your gut. What do you need to activate your gut? You need water, you need fiber, you need enzymes and probiotics, which is why when I was healing my body and I was healing my gut, two of the main products I used that were very effective were the enzymes and the probiotics. And I can't tell you enough about those products. And, when I am without them, I can tell. And I encourage everyone to, implement some of these into your daily routine because it will change things for you. The build stage, when it comes to our body, refers to things like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, amino acids, the building blocks for our body that they need to perform and for our organs to work the way they were designed. And then we have the cleanse part, which is the detoxification. This is our primary channels for like our intestines, our urinary tract. It also includes our skin and our respiratory. And Also, ones you're probably familiar with are your liver and your lymphatic system. And then other targeted solutions, which we call restore and renew, would be repairing and restoring your cells, your tissues, your organs, and your systems. So, steps number 3, we want to establish a foundation of wellness with our 90-day reset. So, I'm going to go very quickly through the different things that doTERRA has in their 90-day reset. And it is broken up into a 3-month phase. So for the first month, it is a prepare. It's where we energize our organs and our cell performance. Month 2 is when we do the cleansing. We motivate detoxification and elimination. And month 3 is when we renew and replenish our body, and we help our cells, organs, and tissues to renew themselves. In the 90-day reset, there's different products that are suggested that will help with this process. And you'll just quickly see the chart there. You'll see how there's some are the same every month, but then there's other ones added in and other ones removed. And that's to support different parts of this reset process. The first one I want to talk about is PB Restore. And it promotes a positive balance and proliferation of beneficial bacteria in your gut. Connie, you can go to the next slide. Now, many probiotic supplements are not effective because they cannot bypass the stomach acid. And that's why we love PB Restore. It is a double encapsulated supplement that on the outside has the fibers that need to be released in your stomach for proper digestion. And then the probiotics that you need to help rebuild good, healthy, beneficial bacteria in your gut does not get released until it reaches your intestinal tract. Connie, you can continue going forward. I think you're behind by a slide. The next product I want to talk about very briefly is the VMG. Essentially, it is 3 products in one. If you're familiar with doTERRA and you've been with us for any amount of time, you've heard about Lifelong Vitality, which has Alpha CRS, Microplex VMZ, and our omegas. Now, imagine VMG is all 3 of those combined, plus it also has your greens and your fiber that you need in your diet. So VMG is like this super powerhouse when it comes to nutrition and refreshing your body with the vitamins and minerals that it needs. Connie, you can go to the next slide. So what does VMG offer you? It offers boosted energy levels, strengthened immunity, gut health and digestion, liver function, cognition and brain function, hormone function. It impacts your mood, supports optimal organ function. It actually decreases biological age, which is absolutely incredible. And it helps you with healthy inflammatory response. The next one I just want to briefly mention about is our E Omega Plus. These are essential oils, they're called essential oils because they are absolutely crucial to maintaining overall health and vitality. And this supplement is incredible. It has been known to significantly decrease your resting heart rate and many other health markers when it comes to cognition and even the health of your heart. And this particular omega-3 fatty acid has been derived by wild caught fish, and it also contains our CPTG wild orange essential oil. And the reason we did that was, number one, to improve absorption, but also to keep it from going rancid. A lot of problems that we have with essential fatty acids that come over the market is that they don't last long before they go rancid. And so having our essential oil or orange oil in there keeps that from happening. Connie, you can keep going forward. One more slide. So what does this megas help us when it comes to our body? It helps with heart and circulation health, cognition and brain function, eye and nervous system function, joint function and comfort, longevity, mood maintenance, hydration, detoxification pathways, cellular growth, and membrane integrity, healthy inflammatory response, healthy digestion, healthy respiration, healthy skin, hair, and nails, and immune boosting nutrients. The next supplement I want to talk about is MetaPower. This is our energy and stamina complex. This would be something that you would use to replace what people normally have when it comes to energy boosts, like Red Bull or excessive coffee use or some of those energy drinks you'll get over the counter. And what is in here is a proprietary formula of plant extracts. It supports cellular energy production and vitality. It promotes mitochondrial function and efficient production of ATP in cells. It enhances your stamina, your aerobic capacity, and efficient use of oxygen within your body. It supports diverse activities and metabolic adaptation, and supports mental energy. And I love the Mito 2 Max supplement. And whenever I'm feeling like, I've had quite the day and I'm feeling a little sluggish, this is my go-to. The next supplement is GX Assist. This one is for GI cleansing. It helps in the second stage of the 90-day program, and it helps clear out any of those unwanted pathogens in our digestion tract. And it has oregano, lemon, tea tree, thyme, peppermint, and lemongrass in it. And it is very effective at helping cleanse that part of our body system. And then we have DDR Prime, which is our essential oil cellular blend. This helps rebuild and repair damaged cells. And we have, through oxidative stress, through toxic load, we get many cells that get damaged. And if they're not repaired and actually released from our body, they can actually cause other problems like the C word, which I won't say on here for compliance reasons. But many other illnesses where there's like cellular degradation in our body, DDR Prime helps either repair them or remove them from your body. And it's very effective in doing that. It has within it frankincense, wild orange, clove, nioli, thyme, and lemongrass. And as you can see from these, it tells you some of the different effects that it has on the body. It can be antioxidant, has cellular support, immunity. It helps the body's natural oxidative defenses, and it helps protect against environmental threats. So I'm sure that by now you've realized that during your daily routines, you are exposed to many, many different toxins, many microbes, and many pathogens. And, God has created our bodies in a way that we should naturally be able to detox things out of our life. But sometimes when our bodies are so overwhelmed, our detox organs can't filter it all out. And so we need help, which brings us to Revitazen. Now, Revitazen is doTERRA's newest product. They released in September at convention. Connie and I are so excited about this product. I love it. And This is something we recommend that you introduce into your daily life to help your detoxification organs do the job that they were created for. Now, those organs include your liver, your kidney, and your colon. Now, there is many essential oils in here. I don't have those listed, but one thing I do want to mention, Connie, next slide, is in the outer chamber. It includes artichoke, black cumin seed oil, milk thistle, and cumin oil, which are very powerful and effective when it comes to detoxification in your detox organs. This complex strengthens and protects your liver, your kidney, and your colon function. It provides antioxidant support and buffers off oxidative stress and detox. It keeps bile flowing smoothly to carry toxins out of your digestive tract. We've talked about your detoxification pathways in your body, and you can see these organs in this chart. It includes your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, your skin, and your lymphatic system. And so all of these different pathways will be influenced and impacted by the Revitazen blend. And not only does it come in the supplement form, but it also comes in the oil form.
Exposure to toxins is impossible to avoid. From phthalates in plastics to synthetic chemicals in paint and furniture, toxins are everywhere. In the food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe, and the household items you use every day. And over time, your body and its systems can become overwhelmed. There's a lot you can't control about toxin exposure, but you can reduce it in your home and help your natural detoxification systems get the extra support they need to function properly. That's why doTERRA created Revitazen Detoxification Blend and Revitazen Plus Advanced Organ Detoxification Complex, two powerful products that work with your body and help it thrive the way it's designed to. Unlike harsh cleanses that can disrupt digestion or trigger unwanted side effects, the Revitazen products are formulated to gently and effectively support the body's natural detoxification systems, the liver, kidneys, and colon. Revitazen Detoxification Blend is a citrusy, herbaceous mix of tangerine, rosemary, ginger, geranium, juniper berry, and cilantro essential oils. Together, they help maintain healthy organ function, provide antioxidant protection, and support your body's natural ability to eliminate toxins. Add a drop to water or tea or in a veggie cap. Diffuse it for an uplifting aroma, or apply it with castor oil for topical application. Take your detoxification routine to the next level with Revitazen Plus Advanced Organ Detoxification Complex. Each dual-chamber capsule delivers clinically studied botanicals, including black cumin seed oil, artichoke, and milk thistle, and combines them with cumin essential oil and Revitazen Detoxification Blend for targeted daily support. Here's another reason this detox product is so unique and powerful. The dual-chamber capsule is incredibly effective, bringing together key ingredients in one convenient delivery system. Revitazen Plus helps your liver function optimally, your kidneys filter waste, and your colon maintain healthy digestion, all while reducing oxidative stress and promoting a healthy inflammatory response. Together, the blend and complex provide an effective yet gentle system for safe daily detoxification. No harsh cleanses or quick fixes, just support for the body's natural systems. Today's the day to reset your wellness journey. Add the Revitazen detox products to your routine and experience detoxing the doTERRA way.
Okay. So, yeah, I love Revitazen, and if that's something that you can add to your daily routine, I recommend it because it will help support those detox organs in eliminating all of those things that we don't need. Another one of the supplements that I do highly recommend is Terrazyme. It has 10 active whole food enzymes in it, and this is something that you would use when digesting and eating foods that have been cooked, processed, or that are not whole foods, because upon cooking and upon processing these foods, you kill off a lot of those essential enzymes that help break down those proteins, fats, and carbohydrates and sugars. And so, Terrazyme is a necessary thing to have a digestive enzyme in your daily routine when you're having those kind of meals, that it can be helping break down those foods, and so that your body can absorb whatever nutrients that are in those foods and process them appropriately. So that brings us to many of the different things we talked about today. And it is available in what we call some cleanse and restore kits or foundational wellness kits as well. And, next slide shows us the 90-day reset. And it shows us the three different stages: prepare, cleanse, and renew. And these are some of the suggested products that you would use in each different stage. Now, when you go to, if you were to do this whole 90-day reset, you could actually purchase each one of these in a bundle. And when you do purchase them in a bundle, they have different names. So for the first month, it would be called the 90-day reset prepare. And if you buy them in this bundle, you would save an additional $60. And in month two, when you go to order, it would be called 90-day reset cleanse. And this whole package, you would save an additional $100 over the wholesale price. And for month three, it's called the 90-day reset renew. And on this bundle, you would save $48. And when thinking about investing in your future and in your health, doTERRA offers many other ways that you can save. The first one is definitely get a wholesale account if you don't have one already. That offers you 25% off retail prices. Number two, if within Canada, you get free shipping with orders over 100 PV. If you're in the States or you're ordering through the US market, you get free shipping over 150 PV. If it's your first enrollment order, you'll get a free gift when you make a 150 PV order. You can also earn what they call doTERRA dollars with our Refer a Friend program. And also, right now until the end of November, if you enroll with a minimum of 100 PV or more, there's other free incentives that you can earn. And last but definitely not least, probably one of my favorite aspects and favorite ways to save is through the rewards program, where you can earn between 10 and 30% back in points that you can use on products. Excuse me. So how the Refer a Friend program works is any dollars that you've earned through the Refer a Friend program, they do not expire. They act like cash and you can use them anytime for anything, including products, diffusers, shipping, or even tax. And so by you sharing your own personal Refer a Friend link, you can be earning these doTERRA dollars that you can use to share, or sorry, to purchase whatever it is that you want. The next thing I want to mention is, another great way for you to earn free product is by hosting your own class. Connie and I would love to absolutely come and teach a class for you and those that you love. So, if this is of interest with you, schedule a class with us and invite those who would love natural solutions for them and their family. And then, host your class. And in the process, you're going to change lives, and then you get to earn rewards and sometimes even free gifts for hosting. And so it's a fun way to get more knowledge, get your friends and family out, and change lives. This brings us to our 90-day reset. And Connie and I are starting a 90-day Facebook group with the intention that we're going to reset our health when it comes to detoxification and our foundational wellness and our nutrition. And So you might say to yourself, well, I really want to do this. I want to reset my health. I want to start off on a good foundation. And if that's you, I would say, you know what? Talk to Connie or myself and get connected, and we'll get you into this group because we are going to be posting regular information. We'll be posting recipes. We'll be posting encouragement, different ways that you can implement other lifestyle practices to help your body reset and refuel itself. And if you are able and you want to, go all in and you want to use all of the products I talked about today, you can also purchase those different kits for each one of the months. The restore, the renew, or um, the cleanse and the renew, and all of those, the different ones for each month. And if maybe you already have some of the products, so maybe you just need to buy one or two, or maybe you can also work with Connie and myself, and depending on your needs, maybe you prefer Lifelong Vitality, or maybe you don't need one of the products, but you need another. So you can work directly with Connie or myself, and we can come up with a um, more targeted plan for you, but you can still be part of this 90-day reset group for us and, have that accountability, have that direct interaction with other people that have the same heart, the same desire to really kickstart and reset their health and do it in a fun way. This is also a place where, like I said, we'll be sharing resources and also sharing testimonials and encourage one another. And in here is also a great place for you to ask your questions, because if you have a question, there's a good chance that someone else in the group has the same question as well. And so if this is of interest to you, let Connie or myself know, and we will give you an invite to this group. And we would love to journey with you. And we're planning on starting this on November 15th. So it would go from November 15th to February 15th, and we'd be journeying together for the next 3 months. Reset. So these are some of the topics we'll be covering, plus more during these next 90 days. Here's one recipe that I found that, looks super cool and super fun. And these are the kind of things that we'll be sharing in our group. Just easy, fun ways to have a nutritious drink and also be able to be using the power of essential oils while enjoying these delicious things. There are 3 ways that you can buy through doTERRA, and I'm gonna quickly go over them for those of you that will be watching this recording later and don't know. The first one is retail. It's the most expensive way, and usually it's for people that are doing a one-time purchase. For everyone else, we recommend you have a wholesale account. It's free to enroll with when you get a free enrollment when you do your first order, and you'll be receiving 25% below retail prices. And you can even get prices for lower than that, depending on what you order. And Connie and I can teach you more about how to get even more savings. And the third way is below wholesale. And the way you do that is, if you're enrolling, buy a bundle or a kit because you'll save more that way. You also can get free shipping. You can also get the free product of the month when you're on our rewards program with a specific order size. And you can also be on the rewards program and get between 10 and 30% back. There's 3 different types of people that typically we partner with. It's our customers, or people we call sharers, and builders. Customers are those that love the product and want to live the natural lifestyle. Sharers are people that love the product and they love it so much that they want to share it with other people. And those people tend to be ones that love to host events, love to host in-home classes, and they love to share even one-on-one, or share their refer a friend link with those that they know and share about the products that they're being positively impacted by. And the third is what we call a builder, which is someone who loves doTERRA's products so much and wants to help people in a way that they actually want to be able to build a residual income by sharing with others. So that's all I have to share for today. I know it was a lot of information, and if if at any point you want to get started, you want more information on any of the products shared, you want to maybe join our 90-day reset Facebook group where we'll be sharing even more information. For any reason that you want, contact Connie or myself, or if this is being shared abroad, go talk to someone who shared this presentation with you and ask them more questions and they can get you plugged in where it meets you best.